They outscored them in the third. Golden State 40-28 over the Pelicans. Here's a three by Hield. Buddy Hield looking at Reggie Miller.
Be more selfish offensively. He's got to stop the front. Here's a zone here by New Orleans.
Hield!
Look at this.
An undermanned Golden State Warriors squad just dealt a crushing blow to the New Orleans Pelicans, securing a decisive 1-2-4, 1-0-6 victory. But what makes this win stand out? It wasn't just the score or the fact that they were missing Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. This win was a display of depth, resilience, and a team that seems to have adopted a new attitude towards dominance. Without Curry's signature shooting or Wiggins' defensive versatility, the Warriors found a way to dominate. They leaned on an emerging strategy that redefines how this team functions even without its superstar. Now, consider this: the Warriors went down by 17 points at one point, a massive gap for any team to overcome, let alone one without its leading players. But they weren't fazed. Instead, they chipped away at that lead with calculated aggression, an impenetrable defensive effort, and crucial contributions from role players stepping into the spotlight. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a methodical, surgical dissection of the Pelicans' game. Golden State showed the league that they're not dependent on one or two stars, they're evolving into a dynamic, flexible powerhouse. And just when you think the Warriors might fold under the absence of Curry, they unleash a fresh tactic that leaves their opponents scrambling. Let's dive into the depth and precision that make this team so dangerous even without their top players. Depth, this is what defines the Warriors this season. Without the usual firepower from Curry and Wiggins, it was players like Buddy Hield and Brandon Podziemski who took the reins. Let's talk about Hield. His performance was nothing short of redemption. After a rocky start this season, hitting only one of 9 three-point attempts in his last home game, he exploded for 28 points tonight, including 7 deep shots. Think about that: 7 three-pointers, a 19-point performance in the fourth quarter alone. It wasn't just that he scored, it's how he scored. Hield proved he could step up and bring that clutch factor when it mattered most, picking up where Curry would usually be. But depth isn't just about scoring, it's about adaptability. We saw Jonathan Kuminga, initially a starter, shift into a role off the bench, scoring 17 critical points. Then there was Lindy adding 21 points and 9 rebounds, both of these players filling in the gaps, making it look like Curry and Wiggins' absence was a mere detail, not a disaster. And what makes these performances so powerful is that the Warriors aren't leaning on just one guy to make things happen. This is a team built to maximize each player's strengths, creating threats from every angle of the court. This game showed us that Hield isn't just a replacement, he's a weapon. And while Hield made his mark on other, Warriors were right behind him, fueling this win with a new offensive set that maximizes every player's potential. Next up, we break down the Warriors' revamped attack plan. Golden State's offensive strategy has seen a complete overhaul. Steve Kerr has implemented a system that is versatile, built on spacing, and doesn't rely solely on star power. Rather than predictable plays centered on a single player, the Warriors now deploy a 4-out offense, a structure that opens the floor by placing 4 players along the perimeter and keeps one inside to stretch the defense. The style of play isn't just innovative, it's ruthless. With Looney and Jackson Davis anchoring the interior, each player becomes a scoring threat, forcing the defense to stay on its toes. And when they switch to small ball, they transform into a true 5-out offense with every player a live threat, waiting for the moment to strike. Now, this wasn't always the Warriors' identity. In prior years, they were heavily dependent on Curry's off-ball movement, forcing defenders to collapse around him. But the new system makes every position flexible, and the offense isn't about finding Curry or one particular player, it's about finding the best shot. This relentless approach kept the Pelicans guessing all game. They didn't know where the next bucket would come from. By the end of the night, Golden State had made 21 three-pointers on 46 attempts, showing the Pelicans and the league that their three-point dominance is alive and well. This new playstyle was essential against the Pelicans. Despite an early 20-point deficit, the Warriors adjusted, fought back, and made New Orleans pay for every defensive slip-up. And they didn't stop there. Defense became their sharpest tool. The Warriors didn't just outshoot the Pelicans, they outsmarted them on defense, exploiting every weakness and capitalizing on every mistake. Golden State limited their own turnovers to 8, a sharp improvement from the 21 turnovers they committed just one game prior. Meanwhile, they forced New Orleans into an astonishing 24 turnovers, converting those into a game-changing 34 points. This relentless defensive pressure led to 15 steals and constant disruption for the Pelicans, who were left scrambling, unable to regain their rhythm. And let's highlight some unsung heroes here, Jonathan Kuminga and Lindy Waters. Their defensive tenacity was unmatched. Kuminga not only scored 17 points, but added 2 steals and a block, proving he's more than just an offensive asset. Waters, who recorded 9 rebounds to go along with his 21 points, kept the Pelicans off balance and out of sync. Even without D'Anthony Melton, their defensive rotations were fluid, forcing stars like Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson into tight spots, pressuring them into costly turnovers. This defense wasn't just strong, it was suffocating. These defensive plays told New Orleans, we're not just here to keep up, we're here to dominate. The Warriors not only prevented the Pelicans from scoring, but also controlled the pace, dictating the terms of engagement from the second quarter onward. This performance was a powerful statement showing just how adaptable and deadly this team can be, even without its top stars. With defensive synergy like this, the Warriors proved that even with Curry and Wiggins out, they are anything but vulnerable. And as the game intensified, Buddy Hield was there to deal the final blow in the fourth. This was Buddy Hield's game to finish, and finish he did. Hield unleashed his scoring ability with a vengeance, notching 19 points in the fourth quarter alone. And it wasn't just about padding the score. With each shot he took, Hield reasserted Golden State's dominance, ensuring there would be no Pelicans comeback. This was Curry's role he was stepping into, the role of closer, and Hield embraced it with relentless precision. 7 3-pointers sank through the hoop as Hield controlled the final minutes, showing a skill that transcends his role as a substitute. He didn't just help his team, he delivered a message: this team can finish strong, Curry or no Curry. This performance was about more than just points. Hield stepped into Curry's role as the go-to scorer under pressure. Warriors fans have seen this from Curry countless times, but now they saw Hield channeling that same fire. By the end of the night, he wasn't just a supporting player, he had become the hero, the player who took control and shut down any hope for the Pelicans. With the final whistle, Hield's heroics cemented the Warriors' 124-106 win. But this game was more than a win, it was a revelation. The Warriors' adaptability, their depth, and their relentless push forward show us they're ready to make waves this season, no matter who's on the court. And here's where it gets interesting. The Warriors are set to face the Pelicans once again tomorrow night. This time, New Orleans will arrive with revenge on their minds, desperate to turn the tables. But Golden State has shown their depth, and every player on this roster knows they have a role to play. They tasted victory against a full-strength Pelicans lineup, and now they have the confidence to do it again. It's not just about Curry or Wiggins, it's about a team that's proving itself in real time. The second matchup is a test of the Pelicans' resilience and the Warriors' consistency. New Orleans has been sent back to the drawing board, forced to find answers after losing so decisively. But the Warriors have discovered something more in identity. They've proven that they're not reliant on 1 or 2 players. This team can adapt, grow, and dominate through sheer depth, and they're ready to continue building on this foundation as the season progresses. This next game will test both teams' mettle. Will the Pelicans adjust, or will the Warriors' deep roster prove too much to handle yet again? Stay tuned as we watch this rivalry heat up. Tonight's win wasn't just another victory, it was a statement of strength. The Warriors, missing their stars Curry and Wiggins, showed they're more than a one-man team. Their new offensive setup and relentless defense prove that they're built on depth and adaptability. Buddy Hield's explosive scoring and Podziemski's energy showcased how every player is ready to step up. This game sent a clear message: Golden State isn't just surviving, they're evolving, and they're ready to dominate. The league has been warned, the Warriors are no longer predictable. With their cohesive play and strong rotations, they're building a system that doesn't rely on a single star but on the synergy of the entire roster. Curry's return will only amplify this team's potential. Golden State has redefined itself, playing with purpose, precision, and intensity that makes them a true contender. Tonight was just the beginning. The Warriors are back in full force, ready to take on the season, and the league should be prepared.